the simple solution you've been looking for to bust your body fat for good. Now I've got the #1 miracle in a bottle to burn your fat. Lightning in a bottle. It's a miracle flour to fight fat. What if you could do this? Yeah! Well, I'm here to tell you that you can, and I'm going to show you exactly how.
Well, this guy doesn't seem right.
Yeah, but he's a doctor.
Oh, come on. I can't believe you guys would fall for this kind of bull. This is crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just giving you every day show.
Ordinary athletes helping you fit fitness even to the busiest of lives. And we do so by offering you nutrition and fitness tips for the ordinary athlete. So check out our other playlists.
And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss our videos.
For today, we wanted to tackle a controversial topic, and that's the problem with following some of the daytime talk shows for health and fitness advice. Today, we're focusing on Dr. Oz. But many of our concerns apply to a lot of others as well.
That's right. And our general concern is that a lot of these daytime talk shows really aren't designed to give helpful health and fitness advice. In fact, they seem generally designed just to hook viewers and entertain, even at the expense and at the sacrifice of good quality fitness information. And despite his popularity, the Dr. Oz show really doesn't appear to be all that different.
We're going to be covering 3 red flags that we see, but keep in mind that this can be applied to all kinds of other daytime shows as well. Red flag number 1, don't trust overly simplistic or absolute tips.
Now, before we get into the actual specifics of the show, it's important to realize something about any TV show, YouTube channel, or even advice you might hear. Anytime somebody's trying to sell you something that's overly simplistic or absolute, they're probably trying to sell you a bunch of bull. We are talking about those clickbaity titles or those eye-catching headlines like #1 superfood to lose weight. Ooh. Or the only exercise you need to get 6-pack abs. I need to hear more about that. Or lose fat in 5 days with this quick tip.
How do we do that?
Look, we all know shows function on popularity, and even our channel is no different. We all want views and we find ways to get them. And often that's fine. It involves things like improving your content, quality, or your style. But where it starts to become problematic is where you start using clickbait that is overly simplistic or absolute in health or fitness. And the Dr. Oz show does this quite a bit.
Today, the 10-day belly slim down. It's a rapid plan that will flatten and de-bloat your midsection right here. Deprivation not included. But what if I told you there's an easy way to reignite your body's metabolism? You may think magic is make-believe, but this little bean has scientists saying they found the magic weight loss cure for every body type.
Let's be realistic. Fitness and health require hard work, and any overly simplistic or absolute tips you hear out there are completely bogus. The variables for determining what's right for you will differ greatly between people. So there's no one best ab exercise, there's no one diet tip you have to follow, and there's no easy hack for getting ripped. We actually made a video about how Jeff Cavaliere addresses this issue, so if you're interested, you should check it out. Even some of the more complicated questions in your fitness journey will vary depending on different particularities. So should you cut down on carbs? Should you intermittent fast? Should you be training to failure? Anyone who's actually trying to help you will often answer these questions with, it depends. So don't fall for anyone who's trying to tell you that there's one way or one best way to achieve fitness success. And please, let's stop getting hoodwinked by all these gimmicks and tricks they keep giving us with the #1 way to lose fat and the #1 way to get ripped. Because generally when you hear that, it's a bunch of nonsense. And in fact, the only time I've heard of one real trick that'll work when it comes to fitness was actually a tip that came from my little cousin. And she was about 7-ish at the time, and we had just seen some videos and seen her do some really amazing gymnastics tricks. And we were like, how'd you do that? How'd you learn to do that? And she told us, there's an easy trick to it. And we said, what is the easy trick? And she said, you just have to practice every day. And I think this is something that we can apply in the fitness industry. And that's the idea that there are no gimmicks or shortcuts, and there is no easy way out. And we have to listen to my little cousin. It's just like she says, that it's all about hard work every day, and that's how you're gonna see results.
Red flag number 2 is overcomplicating things. Now, I know this may seem like a contradiction of red flag number 1, where we talked about how oversimplifying can be very problematic, but overcomplicating things, especially when it's not required, can be just as harmful, especially to beginners who are trying to navigate their way through all this information and may face unnecessary obstacles and even feel a little discouraged. Take this clip for instance.
Have all your little tricks to get those pounds off failed? That's something I hear all the time. But what if I told you there's an easy way to reignite your body's metabolism? And it all starts in the brain. I'm gonna open your eyes to something you may not have thought of. We talk about this burning fire, we all think about our belly, but it's the brain actually where a lot of these battles are won and lost. So go ahead and put those purple gloves on. I'm gonna talk about a gland that doesn't come up very often, but it could be to cause your problems. It is actually the one responsible for the way you secrete most of the hormones in the body.
Oh,
It's
Lord,
located
no.
right here in the very base of the brain, that little red dot.
Oh, wow.
That's called the pituitary gland.
Now this video goes on to talk about the brain and in particular the pituitary gland and how hormones work. The information, it isn't false, but it also isn't necessary, especially for most people. And this clip starts off with this woman talking about her journey with all these different types of diets in order to lose weight. And she starts off by listing a whole bunch of terrible diets.
My goodness. The water diet, the cayenne pepper diet, the all meat diet, the juicing diet.
You can go on for a long time.
I mean, I really can keep going if you'd like me to.
Now, a lot of what she just listed is nonsense. Utter nonsense. Cayenne pepper. Love it. But a diet based on cayenne pepper? Ridiculous. These are not solutions to weight loss. And no one in this clip tells the woman that the fad diet hopping she's doing is inefficient for weight loss. If you want to know more about the perils of fad diet hopping and how it doesn't work, check out this video. No one in this Dr. Oz clip tells this woman the simple truths she needs to hear. Focus on healthy eating, on exercise, and don't overeat. But I guess that's just not interesting enough for their show. So instead of offering obvious but hard truths, they talk about the pituitary gland. And in fact, this clip ends with a nice musical number on hormones.
One more time. Nicely done. That's the healthy sound of metabolism working the way it's supposed to work. All the hormones cooperating together.
Yeah, real useful. And the most frustrating thing is that Dr. Oz, he knows better. Check out his answer in front of a Senate panel where he was grilled for his outlandish claims.
What works for most people?
What works for most people is a diet based on real food that comes out of the ground, looking the way it looks when you eat it. It's not been processed, with some physical activity. Most of weight loss, I believe, is about the food choices you make. Most of keeping your weight low is about the physical activity you engage in.
So it's clear that his show focuses more on showmanship than it does on real advice. So next time you check it out, consider it more as a form of entertainment rather than your go-to place for real fitness advice. Besides, you guys have us for that. Red flag number 3, deceptive marketing tactics.
The show uses tactics such as keeping things overly simple in order to keep their audience engaged. So the idea is, if you knew just this one great trick, then you'd be able to get fit really easily. But that level of deception gives people false hope and makes them give up on their fitness goals when that one simple trick just doesn't work. However, what's worse is outright misleading or unproven claims. Dr. Oz often promoted magic pill type solutions to fat loss with his promotion of supplements.
You should write it down. Garcinia cambogia, because it may be the simple solution you've been looking for to bust your body fat for good. Now I've got the #1 miracle in a bottle to burn your fat. Lightning in a bottle. It's a miracle flour to fight fat.
But the lack of scientific backing to many of his claims led to a bit of backlash. All of this culminated in a separate Senate panel encounter where Dr. Oz was actually grilled on his promotion of bogus diet products. Celie Peeler, who was the vice president of the Council for Better Business Bureau, remarked that American consumers unrealistically yearn for a magic bullet and unscrupulous marketers will take advantage of these desires. Former Senator Claire McCaskill even told Dr. Oz, people want to believe you can take an itty-bitty pill to push fat out of your body, but the scientific community is almost monolithically against you. Then, even the late-night comics got in on the fun.
Have I got something miraculous for you, ladies and gentlemen? A monkey's paw mixed with 5 petals of a rose and a thimble full of otter semen. Guaranteed to cure your lumbago. Step right up here.
It became clear that Dr. Oz was willing to push unverified and unproven products just to help his ratings. But we need to point out how dangerous these type of claims can really be. People trust you when you have a doctor in front of your name. And once they try your products and then fail at losing fat or getting that magic solution that you promoted, then they can be really discouraged and feel down about themselves and then maybe even stop with fitness and health goals altogether.
He has touted many drugs as miracle drugs for weight loss, which causes people to spend huge amounts of money for treatments that have no benefit whatsoever.
Now, a lot of these unproven, unscientific, magic, gimmicky solutions that are often promoted on the show generally seem to center around fat loss and metabolism boosting.
Secrets today, and this one you are gonna love. It combines the two topics that get asked about the most: weight loss and alternative health. For Skolin, when you add it into your metabolism, you take it by mouth, it speeds up your metabolism almost instantaneously.
However, admittedly, the show appears to be doing a lot better of a job at steering away from some of the more outlandish claims in the past few years, probably especially since Dr. Oz's Senate encounter. Despite this though, there's still a lot of overhyped and exaggerated solutions promised to bust your belly fat.
Today, the 10-day belly slim down. Next hack is a diuretic salad. Now this for a flat belly is going to be pretty cool because in theory, they should get rid of bloat.
Now Dr. Oz can be seen subtly endorsing the targeted fat loss myth in a lot of these videos. And even the videos where he's talking about reducing your belly bloat, the language that's being used may still give people the impression that they're being given tips and tricks that's gonna cut down their belly fat. And this is extremely problematic. Even if you're giving people actual good advice on fat loss, it's not gonna bust their belly fat specifically. That's just simply not how this whole thing works. And if you wanna find out more about the targeted fat loss myth and how fat loss actually occurs in the body, check out this other video we did on the topic. Okay, now let's look past this whole belly fat conundrum and notice the other issue at play here. Yes, the show is no longer producing the same level of wildly unsubstantiated claims and talking about miracle quick fixes and gimmicks and promoting supplements. And so the content has gotten better than what they used to put out years ago. But there's still a big problem here. The content can still be seen often overhyping solutions and greatly exaggerating the fat loss benefits of a lot of tactics that in all honesty are unlikely to yield people any actual positive results. Now, we're not gonna go through every single different claim made on the show that fits this profile, because that would be a video all onto its own. And honestly, we also didn't want to watch any more Dr. Oz clips. But we will take a look at one such claim.
Tamara says she dropped more than a dress size by adding vinegar to her everyday routine. Apple cider vinegar has been around for centuries as a home remedy. Apple cider vinegar not only can help you control your blood sugar, but we've received countless success stories from viewers about how it kickstarted healthy transformations from all over the country.
Apple cider vinegar, a topic that has certainly become quite heated in fitness circles, with a lot of different claims swirling around, some with moderate amounts of evidence, and others less so.
I like it because it can help you recover from a cheat day as well.
No, it won't.
I think it's so powerful.
To me, I always describe it as like the Ringo Starr of the Beatles. Like he's been here the whole time, but he's always been in the background. And that's apple cider vinegar. I mean, my grandparents told them about it, they told me about it. And I think it's one of those best kept secrets because it's effective, it's powerful.
Just stop it. You know it's not that powerful. Okay, now let's be clear here. There are a lot of different claims made about the benefits of apple cider vinegar. That it can help clear up your acne, that it can lower your blood sugar levels, that it can even make you feel fuller and more satiated. And each one of those claims can and should be explored independently. However, the promotion or the idea that apple cider vinegar can help reduce unwanted fat is the problematic one that we'll be tackling here. Let's break it down. There's only actually been one significant relevant study on this topic, and many others have already weighed in, including one of our favorite YouTubers, Jeff Nippard, who chimed in on the study and revealed a lot of its limitations. He pointed out that all of the subjects were obese, meaning that the results may not extrapolate well to the general public. He also noted that they utilized a self-reported diet diary, which is generally accepted as being quite unreliable. But separate from that, if you just look at the weight loss results themselves, they were actually quite minuscule, even amongst the high dose group. And additionally, many others noticed that even with these relatively modest weight loss results, they actually didn't end up even being sustainable. So back to Dr. Oz. So what's the problem here? Well, the issue we see is actually twofold. First, this continues to propagate the silly myths out there that there are easy solutions to people's weight problems. In fact, a 2011 FTC survey of consumer fraud showed more consumers were victims of bogus weight loss products than any other frauds covered by the survey. Okay, so let's be honest and stop doing this to ourselves. We know that the answers to fat loss are gonna boil down to sensible eating and exercise. Easy cures to our fat loss problems do not exist, and this apple cider vinegar case is only one example. I'm sure you can find many more, and not just on the Dr. Oz show, but all over daytime TV. And the second issue is that Dr. Oz probably knows all of this. I really doubt that I'm teaching him anything new. He's likely well versed in the academic literature, probably far better than any of us.
There's not a pill that's going to help you long-term lose weight and live the best life without diet and exercise.
These types of shows are all willing to promote solutions, in this case, fat loss solutions, that they know are unlikely to actually end up helping people. And this is all done in the name of showmanship and ratings. But that's why it's so particularly important that anytime you're watching shows like this, you're listening with a very critical ear. And don't be afraid to look into stuff yourself before you try anything out. And that goes for anyone that you might be listening to, even us.
So keep our 3 red flags in mind. If you do insist on watching Dr. Oz or any of those other daytime talk shows and they're telling you some health and fitness advice, which could potentially be harmful advice, but just take anything that they're saying with a grain of salt.
A huge grain of salt.
A mound of salt.
A Mount Everest of salt.
Part of the problem that we should point out with shows like the Dr. Oz show is it really ends up being a mixed bag of information.
There's sometimes good stuff mixed in with the fluff, mixed in with some outright nonsense, and that sometimes makes it hard for people who are new to health and fitness to know who to listen to and who to take advice from and what to follow in general.
And this can really hinder someone's progress who is now attempting these useless, unproven, and often drastically flawed tactics for weight loss and health when they could be attempting fruitful approaches. And that's why, in our opinion, Dr. Oz is not helping.
So if you like our video, please subscribe, click the like button, hit that little bell notification, and be sure to check out our affiliate links below. They really help us out.
And share this video with any of your friends who you know are actual Dr. Oz fans. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.